Hi there, Cancer. Welcome to your reading. This is Yetta Pearl, and this is your general angel reading for the week of January 10th through 16th of 2022. So, how's your new year been going so far? We're starting to settle in a little, I think. Hey, maybe not quite a full routine yet, unless you just continued what you were doing in 2021. But it is no matter what the calendar says, it is a brand new, fresh start, an opportunity to change things. If there's something you don't like, now's the time to change it. Okay, so let's see what your cards, what your angels have wanted to tell you for this week. Ah, wonderful. So we start with a happy surprise. A happy surprise. That's fabulous. What is it that you've been wanting? Maybe it's that. Because, if you've been wanting it for a while, this is what's manifesting. This is what's coming to you, what you've been creating, right? So you can expect a beautiful, happy surprise this week, January 10 through 16. Okay. They're not giving me any clues as to what this specifically might be. That's because it's a group reading, right? And so it could be any number of things. But so expect your happy surprise. It's on its way to you. Okay. And so here is you emerging. This is you becoming more of who you truly are. This is you stepping into a role that you are eager to have, or that you already know how to have, or something like that. Stepping into a kind of a new role, though. This is you emerging as your full self. Okay, full as in current growth. You are going to continue to emerge because your growth will continue, right? So then each time, like every day pretty much is new learning, new stuff that you know now, or know how to do, or know how to be, right? So you will continue to do this, but it feels like a bigger step right here, right now. Showing leadership, showing like a new thing. It's a new thing to step into. It feels very good. You've been wanting it. Okay. All right. Well, these are really cool cards here. So when I say to you, your grandparent that you're closest to, who do you think of? Yeah, that person is around you a lot. And so for some of you, that person has passed over, and spiritually, they are visiting you. They are around. They're very proud of you. And they want you to know that. That's really cool. So they have been hanging around a little bit. They're kind of, hovering at your shoulder, your elbow, somewhere around there. And so they say they've been leaving you signs. Signs. They've been leaving you signs where they're trying to whisper in your ear or something like that to get your attention. For some of you, you've been noticing they've been coming to your mind a lot lately. And so you're kind of wondering if that's them. Yes, it is. Okay. Some of you, your favorite grandparent is still living, and you get to still communicate with them on this physical plane. And so that feels really good. So make sure you actually, communicate with them regularly and often, and let them know that they're your favorite. You don't have to use that word, but just say that, I really love talking to you and things like that. So, yeah, make sure they know it. Okay, and for some of you, the message here is that you are the grandparent, and this is talking about you and your grandchildren, and so definitely, savoring that relationship. Make sure that you're being yourself, but at the same time, make sure that you're being the kind of grandparent that they can relate to, right? If you have a grandchild who is maybe very, very introverted, and they prefer to just be quiet. They like spending time with you, but they don't want to be chattering all the time. Well, they're not going to be drawn to you if you always make them talk. But if you can just hang out, just be together, then they will be really comfortable with you, right? So being the intuitive person so that you can help fulfill what they need. That's part of that too. Okay, all right. And yeah, look for signs. So a lot of times this is someone who's crossed over, they're in the spirit world. And, when you see little signs like that that make you think of them, yeah, of course, that is from them. For sure it is. Now, sometimes you've even kind of made a prearranged agreement before they left. Okay, every time you see this whatever, well, that'll be me coming to visit you, right? Or every time you feel something in particular, that'll be me coming to visit, right? So the other things that come to you in signs are messages from your divine guidance, your angels, right? And so when you see things kind of lining up, or if you're asking for a sign and then you see, feathers are very common, or coins are very common, ladybugs, dragonflies, that kind of thing, that's very common. Or perhaps you've asked specifically for something to happen and then it does, or close enough, pretty close, then you know that, yes, that's a sign, right? So you have to be aware of them. You have to notice them. So stay alert for those. They truly are messages from your divine guides. All right. You have the power to help and heal others. Anybody who has helped themselves heal is a healer. And you cannot take anybody else further than you've been yourself. Right? So when you're doing your own work and you're healing yourself and you're progressing, you're learning about yourself and your triggers and you're healing those and changing those, then you are, at the very least, you are providing an example for other people. Now, a lot of times they can't see what's going on unless you're explaining it to them. But when you change, when you are willing to say, oh, I just said that, but honestly, that's my own trigger. Please don't take that personally. That was from me. That wasn't to you, right? Two very different things. When you're willing to say things like that, that is a huge example for somebody who needs to hear that, who maybe doesn't even know they need to hear that, but it gives them permission to go, oh my God, I did that wrong. I'm sorry. Right? And so that's a huge thing. They just showed me a picture of a person with their arms wide open, just embracing, ready to embrace whatever's coming. And so that is part of healing, for sure. Being open and receptive. Okay. All right. So your angels want you to be outside more. Spend a bit more time in nature. Now, I don't know where you are, but here in central Alberta, Canada, it has been bitterly cold. I mean, ridiculously cold. And so nature is severely lacking for most of us right now, except those diehards, the ones you see out walking at -40 with the wind. I'm not one of those. And, I'm guessing most people are not one of those. And so nature might have to come to you in the form of, playing a recording of nature songs or sounds, or listening to waterfalls, things like that, watching something on TV and trying to immerse yourself that way, using your own imagination to put yourself out in nature. That's maybe how it's going to have to be for now. Do stay grounded. If you have a grounding mat, please use that. Or, if it's warm enough in your home, go barefoot. If not, do grounding exercises daily, or at least once, maybe more. Those kinds of things, so that you can stay grounded, so that you can stay connected, to the earth, to the trees, the birds, all the other nature the breezes, the air, all that stuff. At the very least, when you're going from your house to your vehicle or the other way around, try to take a nice cleansing breath of that beautiful fresh air, right? And see, maybe that'll be enough until it warms up, and then you can go do more. Okay, and so now we have the daily guidance cards, and we will look for one more piece of wisdom from your guardian angels, and here it is. See only love. So usually this implies that there's, excuse me, that there's some, somebody that you're not really getting along with all that well. And that it's up to you to make sure that you are seeing only the love portion of that. So this is the equivalent kind of cutting cords. Because when you cut cords, you're cutting the negativity and keeping the love, right? So make sure that whatever your situation is, see only the love. Anything that you think may have been uttered in anger or in negativity in some other way, that somebody, maybe they meant it that way, doesn't mean you have to take it, right? So you can cast love to them to improve their life so that they are not tempted to spread that negativity anymore. Yeah, okay, all right. Well, what a great reading for you, Cancer. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate you, and I love you, and I'll see you next week.